Welcome back. You're watching Overdrive. KTM has tweaked every part of the new 250 Duke and still has managed to retain its price of 2.90 lakh rupees. Let's find out why it's so special.
Earlier in September 2023, India welcomed one of the most exciting and highly anticipated motorcycles of the year in the form of the 2024 KTM 390 Duke. Now we're out here today with another version that has undergone a substantial amount of change like that particular motorcycle. This is the 2024 KTM 250 Duke, and of course, as you can see from the looks, well, this motorcycle looks completely refreshed. It's a big departure away from the previous generation model. And there's more to it because the engine, the chassis, the features, everything about this motorcycle has undergone a certain amount of change, and it is all new as well. So what this motorcycle is like to ride out on the road out here in Mumbai, well, you're about to find out. Like the 390 Duke Naked Sport, this quarter-liter version 2 draws its inspiration from the radical 1290 Super Duke. The new 250 Duke styling is very similar to that of the 2024 390 Duke, and you think that both models look identical if not for the displacement defining paint schemes that they are offered. But on closer inspection, there's a little more to it than just that. Yes, the aggressive appearance has been upped a notch overall on both motorcycles, but its broad headlight will definitely divide opinion, now even more so that it misses out on the LED DRLs that flank the unit on the 390cc model. Those sharp tank extensions are also smaller out here, and the 250cc model gets an LCD display instead of the vibrant TFT instrumentation screen on the 390. Both the 2024 KTM 390 and 250 models do miss out on a belly pan, which exposes the exhaust components a lot more than how it was with the earlier models. In terms of features, the 250 Duke ticks off a good amount of boxes when it comes to modern essential bits like the ride-by-wire throttle, slip and assist clutch, a bi-directional quick shifter, and there's also switchable ABS on the rear if you want to hoon about a bit. Like with the bigger 390 Duke, this one too sports the all-new switchgear, which ups the overall feel-good factor, and it also gets Bluetooth connectivity, which enables turn-by-turn navigation and call-in music control. There's also nifty average fuel consumption reading along with the other useful ride information in there as well. It does, however, miss out on the ride modes, traction control and launch control, the features that the 390 Duke comes standard with. Still, all lovely additions that enhance the motorcycle's aesthetic value overall. But the engine, oh man, now that's one change that I really grew to appreciate. Now the best part about this motorcycle has to be the engine. Well, it's all new once again. Now the 249cc single cylinder liquid cooled, of course, gets a bigger radiator. Like on the 390 Duke, it has two fans to help aid the cooling aspect a lot better. The cylinder head has been changed, the 6-speed gearbox, the gear ratios have been revised, and of course, well, it is up on power and torque as well. So currently this LC4C engine, the new one, it makes around 31 PS of max power and 25 Nm of max torque, which is up by 1 PS and 1 Nm over the older model. Although it isn't as smooth and refined as the engine on the 390, well, the new Duke 390, well, you will have to work the throttle a lot more to reach the speeds that you would like to be doing to keep up with a motorcycle of that sort, but it definitely isn't lacking anything in the performance department for a quarter-liter motorcycle. Well, it weighs a lot lighter, and of course it makes a lot more power than before, so obviously that is always going to be a good thing. You could be doing around 80 kmph in top cork at around 5000 rpm, or even 100 km per hour for that matter at a little over 6000 rpm, and the engine won't feel as strained as it used to at this speed on the older bike because, well, of the bigger airbox on this new 250cc model as compared to the older Gen 2 model, of course. It means that this new LC4C motor feels a lot more relaxed in comparison and breathes a lot better, which in turn helps keep acceleration smooth and composed at practically all speeds. It doesn't feel like you really have to be on it all the time to extract the true potential from this motorcycle because it all occurs a lot more naturally now. It's a lot more tractable and manageable at lower speeds with a strong mid-range, so you don't really feel shortchanged on that account. But you will have to downshift to execute an overtake in a jiffy. When you want to go hard with this one, it certainly will not disappoint. You'd feel like a kid at a candy store all over again. Riding posture on the new 250 Duke, like before, is almost upright with very little weight on your palms while your feet are tucked back in a rather sporty manner. The bike is also around 8 kgs lighter than before thanks to all those new cycle parts, including those lightweight wheels which are borrowed from the latest RC models. So it feels incredibly light to ride and agile at all speeds. This new die-cast aluminum subframe that's bolted onto the main steel trellis chassis allows you to take on corners with so much ease it feels almost unreal. And the fact that the ground clearance has increased by almost 25 mm now means that it will take some while for you to build enough confidence to tilt low enough and scrape its strikes. The MRF tires held up very nicely out here on the dry, but let's just say that your desire for better running shoes will increase in tandem with your will to push this bike further to its limits. Because hammering up and down the slick gearbox with that crisp quick shifter while taking on corners at speed, well, this KTM does lose a bit of its composure. And if that's not your cup of tea, well, then you'll also be happy to know that this bike manages to clear every ungodly speed breaker a city like Mumbai can throw at you, while the clutch lever remains light and a treat to use in heavy traffic. The WP big piston fork up front is a real boon to have on you, and you feel well informed and in control through it all, even though it isn't adjustable like on the 390D. The preload adjustable offset monoshock gives the rear of the 250 Duke a good mix of absorption and stiffness. Like with the 390 Duke, the seat out here gives you a good amount of room to move about and find the right spot. But the longer you're in this saddle, well, the longer you'll crave a seat with higher foam density. So overall, this 2024 KTM 250 Duke is a lot more rider friendly than it was before, while making more power and weighing a lot less than the previous model. And that's the brilliant thing about it, because it delivers on exactly what you'd expect from a quality performance focused 250cc single cylinder KTM motorcycle, and then some. Alright, now to sum things up out here with the 2024 KTM 250 Duke. Well, as a quarter-litre motorcycle, it has definitely upped its ante in the segment because, well, for around the same price that you would have paid like a year ago, well, you're getting a better rounded package in terms of performance, in terms of ride and handling, in terms of features. Well, basically, you're getting so much more for the same cost. And in this day and age, it's very hard to come by something like that. It has a lot more features and it is more rider friendly. It's a lot more comfortable in the saddle as well. So this motorcycle has a lot working for it, and it definitely makes a very strong case for itself, even though it is one of the more expensive versions in the quarter-litre motorcycle segment at this point.
Well, it's time for us to take a final break here on the show, but coming up on the other side, we will acquaint you with Mercedes' latest powerhouse with the AMG badge.